Well, good evening again from wherever you are in the world, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to F1 preview of tonight's RRC Redline Racing Communities FNR race for Belgium for the bronze drivers. We are looking at the car again that leads the Constructors' Championship in the Red Bull in the hands of Gavlar. And with his points lead, boys and girls, he is going to be top of the tables whatever happens tonight. His lead, quite coincidental being in a Lewis Hamilton fan myself, being 44 points to his nearest rival. Now the guys behind him are pretty close, and we'll get into that in a second. We've got exactly 4 minutes until what should be the start of qualifying and then for the race for the FNR Belgian Grand Prix, brought to you again tonight by RRC Racing Community. I'm Scrappy Doo, and as ever on a Friday night, what else have I got better to do and talk to you out there and take you through the qualifying and the race, 50% race tonight for which is going to be a classic, and everyone knows it's probably going to rain in Belgium, and if it's going to rain at some point during the year, it's here where it probably is going to rain. Now, as ever, for any of our regular viewers and listeners, I will go through the tables from the drivers really quick. We do have, so I hear some new drivers making it out tonight and really trying to cut their teeth, so to speak, in the RRC racing field for FNR. So the car we're currently looking at, so let's go by team, might be easier. So first of all, Red Bull Racing. So Gavlar, he's the man currently in the Drivers' Championship, was mentioned, by 44 points. He seems to have picked up his lack of form in the middle of the season, and as we go into the second half of the year, he's full of firepower, 44 points ahead, and it's going to take some to go and beat him with the remaining races, where he is, I know, an expert at. His teammate is Durant, currently running third in the point standing, and that is why Red Bull Racing are top, because consistent driving from both of their drivers throughout the year has basically shown quite a substantial gap in the way of 115 points in the Constructors' title. And as we know, so Durant, one of these drivers that he's pretty good when he comes out to the top of the field. Everyone's got their own particular loves of tracks, but Durant's one of these drivers that struggles, it seems to, if he doesn't have a good qualifying and he puts himself in the middle of the field. Well, tonight, hopefully for his sake, it should be a little easier for him, because he's going to have 3 sessions to be able to perfect his hot lap before we go into Q3. So moving on to second in the Constructors' title, we do have my beautiful car on the track, apart from my own biased Mercedes point of view, the McLaren. So the McLaren drivers, apologies for the commercials. Don't you love that when that happens, when you're trying to speak to some people? Right, so the McLaren drivers. So Tristan and Toon fans. So Tristan currently P2 in the driver's title. Again, him and his teammate, in fact, share a common fact of not having the best middle part of the season so far. And let's hope for McLaren's sakes they can both bring it back. So Toon's got a lot of potential, as we know, very, very confident racing driver with wins this year to his credit, and it looks like he's definitely going to. I'll put my word out there. He will definitely win races going towards the end of the year with the lineups we've got going. Tristan, his teammate. So Tristan's leading the points battle and currently P2. Equally as good as his teammate on the day, but for Tristan's sake, he just needs some consistency, especially to get after Gavlar in the Drivers' Championship. Moving on to the third team, which is Alpha Tauri. 2 drivers, so Mono and Puppy. So Mono, fellow American, has won a race this year, and just that middle part of the race is very, very good in qualifying. He's very quick, makes very good starts, but just the consistency. And in Spa, hopefully, as the Wednesday night race proved, he gave me a battle for my money. So this guy is in the odds on for Belgium. All he's going to do is just keep everything calm inside the cockpit, inside his own head, and I'm sure we might even see him on the podium tonight. Puppy going down there. So Puppy Mono is currently 4th in the Drivers' Championship, chasing after Durant for a bronze medal. come Abu Dhabi in the year. So Puppy, his teammate, he's currently down in P7 as things stand. Honest, Puppy, consistent driver. We're missing quite a lot in the streams purely because he gets on his own races and he scores good points. Unfortunately, he does have a few scraps along the way, but it's just one of those things, unfortunately, with racing in quite a high league. You are going to have those issues if you do qualify in the middle of the field. Going on to the next team. Apologies, my screens went there for a second. We've got the Alfa Romeos. So the Alphas of Super Steve and Taylor. So Super Steve, in fact, the two Alphas looking at now were leading, of course, a few races ago, and they were odds on for a 1-2 for a couple of laps, but unfortunately weather came and we didn't see the first Alpha win of the year. We've seen some other podiums this year from Super Steve at least. So hopefully, and of course Taylor, we've seen some podiums for, so hopefully more consistency, some more podiums for Alpha to come. Moving on to Renault. We'll go Renault really quickly. Let's just get through these drivers really quickly before we get the invites out there. So Renault, so that's Jack Blum and Devil's Nightmare. So Jack getting better and better, so more consistent from Jack. And Devil's Nightmare as well. Pretty much the same thing, guys. So good pairing as far as those two are concerned. That's join the invite really quickly. I do apologise for Ferrari and Mercedes for missing out on them, but we will go and get ourselves ready for what is going to be an exciting exciting race. And of course, as I've said before, as everyone knows, Belgium is full of surprises. It really is. A wet race is never out of the question, even on an E-Series event. So who knows what's going to happen. Making sure I'm in spectate mode and not like a few weeks ago. I think my controller might have bumped itself, so I'll try and keep an eye on that. So let's go back to what we were talking about before. So going for the drivers. So for Renault, so Jack, Mr. Consistency, sitting in 8th. He always picks up points. That's the one driver. He just picks up points over and over and over again. The skills coming to him. So hopefully we've got the good luck for Jack going through. So let's read some messages on my phone as well. With some other leagues. I think that's the gold event. Messaged me about something. It's not a problem. Moving and the Devil's Nightmare. So he's good up and up in my estimations as Devils. I do race with him on the Wednesday night event, and again, the skill is there. The skill is there for him for points every weekend, or for every week I should say, and then for podiums to come. Onto Ferrari. So Clayton Colour White, relatively new into the FNR field, and the both of them have actually really impressed me. No more new boys, so I can't be calling them new boys because they've pretty much grafted their gift today, shall we say. They've really grown a pair, the two of them, and it's very exciting there at Ferrari of where they're going to finish. Maybe if they'd started from the start of the year, we may even have seen them a lot higher than what they currently are now. Mercedes, just the one driver of Puppy Jr. bringing up the field, of course. Named after obviously the father of a puppy. That's the reason why the name Puppy Jr. comes into effect. Now he is been pretty much driver of the year for me, and just see him grow for the last couple of races. He has taken some slack from some of the other leagues he's racing in, and I will say for him personally, Puppy has just gone from strength to strength. He doesn't get involved as many incidents. You can see him jumping out of the incidents that he was, and I think maybe the podium a couple of weeks ago has really pushed his experience up and has pushed his head forward into the right place where it should be. So time is currently 8:05 London time. We are waiting for the drivers to come through for what will be a 50% race and hopefully full qualifying session. I've heard the numbers are high enough. There will be a full qualifying session, which is going to make things more exciting, of course, because then you've got to be able to get into Q2, because in this field of FNR Bronze, the drivers are more condensed. And we have our first South African joining us tonight. So, Buy a Donkey Brew, thank you very much for joining us for that. Other Mercedes foe, RD Wee, I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. And obviously welcome to FNR Bronze, and obviously good luck. He's gonna have his hands full with quite a clever teammate in the car who's developing all the time as Puppy Junior we're just talking about there. So we're waiting for more drivers to come through, and hopefully there'll be a lot more drivers than what you've seen recently in the last few weeks. And a Japanese driver, Charlie in Japan, joining us. If he is in Japan and listening to this, it's very late where he is. So thank you very much for staying up and joining us for what should be a cracking Belgium race event. So while we still have some time to go through, I'll be looking at my phone. So if we do have any more messages, feel free to send us a message through, and I will try and answer it as best I can. So actually, looking at the constructors' titles, so as points go, it does look like for the time being at the halfway point of this season, it does look like Red Bull are running away with this. 115 points is the gap to McLaren, who seems to have taken the foot completely off the gas in the last few weeks. Of course, you've then got quite a scrap really coming on. You've got Alpha Tauri and Alfa Romeo for who's going to be the best Alpha of the year. No pun intended there, quite literally. But who will prevail by the time we get to Abu Dhabi just before Christmas is up for debate, of course. So we'll talk really quickly about Spa, what I would call probably my favourite circuit of the year, purely just down to the medium straights and the long corners mixed with an ultimate in racing challenge. Just in Suzuka really are what cuts the men from the boys, and this place, especially Eau Rouge, it's so cool. I was speaking to Tristan actually the other day, and he was saying that basically Eau Rouge on a pad is extremely difficult. Now I tell you, as a wheel fan myself, as a wheel driver, the wheel is 100% beautiful going up to Eau Rouge. Now I'm not a person that goes for cockpit view. Maybe if it was an iRacing, I might be pushing that way towards that kind of a setup. If anyone is thinking about getting a wheel or wants some advice on wheels from someone who has spent many hours looking through racing wheels, feel free to send me a comment and I will get back to you with the best advice I can with wheels, having spent, like I said, many hours of going through them, testing them, playing with them and getting reviews on them myself. So I like to think I know what I'm talking about when it comes to that. And of course, tonight will be more of a challenge for the drivers, going for fixed setups. So 1 to 5, with 1 being the highest downforce and technically the slowest down the straight, mixed with number 5, which will be, the slowest down the straight, number 1, and number 5, my walk moment there, apologies. And number 5 being the fastest down the straight, and the one with the lowest the lowest possible downforce on the car. Realistically, Spa, you're looking at a number 4 setup here for the drivers that really want to push it. I was one of the ones myself. I did win here in WNR, the Wednesday night race, a few weeks ago. Actually, probably now a couple of months ago now. Feels like weeks ago, but probably was a few months ago now. And it really is, 4 is the way to go if you want to be pushing it here in the race. We're not going to talk about the Mexico race we just had in WNR, and of course FNR has that to come, where a mix of the air conditions, the high altitude, whatever it was, but the setup just kills the car. It really does. And people just say, this is a video game. It's really not. You have to think about these sort of things. And of course the F1 teams do have teams behind them to be able to look through the best setup, the aerodynamics of the car, the best strategy during a race, and talk them through a race. These guys don't, and it's a split decision of when do you pit, what tyres do you take, when do you take them. This is the thing that really cuts the men from the boys, and it does decide when or if you're going to get any points, a podium, and if not, a win. Now, of course, in this league, it's points for pole position as well, and points for fastest lap. So it's all about a chess game in essence of what do you do and where do you do it. Especially this week, there is going to be more drivers in the field, and possibly even relatively new drivers. As we can see, there's quite a few names, or a couple of names in there that are quite new. Personally, I don't know what their experience is in the online racing leagues. And from someone that's been through it, it's quite an adaptation from just going in what I'd call scrub leagues, just fighting against everyone else, to people you don't know, and having accidents, to be able to have the mindset and just know the attitude. It's like going for a new job, of learning the new job, of getting in there and just knuckling down. This is what it's like. You have to learn the ropes, and every league is different. Even from the drivers that have raced in other leagues before, the bronze is going to be different because they know what the drivers are like. These new guys are getting into the cars, they don't know what the other drivers are like. So that's going to be an eye-opener for them, and honestly, they probably couldn't have picked a better track, in my opinion, to be looking at, and especially with the certain rules. So it's dynamic weather, it's Spa, it's a video game in the day, so the AI knows that it rains, and it's a high chance of rain around here, if no one's ever said that before. And it does look like it was going to be a short qualifying session of 18 minutes, not the full qualifying session. How many drivers we've currently got in the field? So let's have a quick run through. It's definitely not everyone in there so far. And that's really the reason why we're still waiting around at 11 minutes past the hour. And I will be trying to find out how long it will be, just to feed that back to everyone. Now, Spa, let's talk about strategy for a quick moment. So, Spa is going to be a one-stop race, but it's a case of what tyres do you start on. So, of course, for short qualifying, you haven't got the option of going out in Q2, setting a mediocre time and starting on the mediums and hoping for the best. This is, the short qualifying, you have to commit. What do? Do you go for the medium tyre? And that's the tyre you're going to start on. So the fastest tyre you start on in this session, that's the tyre you're going to start on for a 50% race. Of course, if it rains in either session, that's out of the window, and basically you can start on what you start on. And it does look like we are starting. Now, if it was me, I would be starting on the soft tyre, because you really can't risk a safety car around here. It is a track you can pass on, but way-ho, it is difficult to do so. As now we are about to start the qualifying session for the FNR Bronze event. Not as many drivers tonight as we were expecting. It is going to be a short qualifying session because of the amount of drivers that we have got in the field. But for the drivers that are here, it looks like at least it is going to be points for everyone, maybe points to win prizes. And it does look like there's going to be 8 starting for qualifying, so in fact that will be points as long as you can finish the race. It is the longest track in the F1 calendar. I thought even this year, of course, with the changed F1 calendar, it is the longest circuit. A massive cut down track from the original Spa-Francorchamps, which basically dwarfs this circuit. And it is about to go green in the pit lane. It is dry by the looks of things. I can't tell you what the weather's going to be like for the race. Apologies behind that. There's 8 drivers, and we will go through and spend as much time as possible. So that's a positive. We're going to spend as much more time with the 8 drivers here, and hopefully some other drivers can join us for the race itself. So there's activity down there already as Jack Brum decides it's now his time to come out on those soft tyres. I think he was listening to my commentary and seeing exactly what we were discussing. No need for multi-map there, as I'm trying to play with my settings. And we'll go on board really quickly with Jack and just see how he takes Eau Rouge. Maybe probably the best corner in Formula 1. Getting used to the car around here. I'm sure he has practiced quite a lot over the last week. And interesting, Tristan, who and Devil's Nightmare is out. He's on the medium tyre. He has, that is Renault teammate, of course, ahead of him, of Jack. So that's the reason why. Now they're taking it relatively slow, the two Red Bulls. We'll try and make a mental note myself. Gavlo out on the soft tyre. He's out there to reset the place, the championship leader. We'll ride with these two Renaults. Now, is there going to be any team orders? Would they have talked about having the drag down the main stretch? That's the reason why they are so close together. I really don't know. They're on different tyres. So, what does Jack do here? He's got his teammate behind him. He does let Devils go as the lead car. So the lead car we will follow of Devil's Nightmare, because the other drivers out there as well, of Toon Fan out there, and of Gavlov, as we mentioned, on the soft tyre. Toon Fan looks to be, he is in the medium tyre. So we are going to see between the top 8 a difference in the tyre compounds, and that will make the race even more interesting. Now, they of course have looked at the report, and I unfortunately haven't, so I can only guess it is going to be a dry race, because otherwise everyone would go out on the soft tyres and not compromise themselves. So we'll ride with Devil's Nightmare for the time being. We can see his teammate in the background as we come into La Source. Hairpin. Gorgeous circuit. It seems to have taken that completely right. There's a long run down to Eau Rouge, which is named, of course, after the river that goes through this racetrack. That looked pretty good, taking a little bit of curve on the inside line, a lot of curve on the outside. DRS will open here as he goes all the way. He's not keeping it to the left when he should be. A little bit of time lost there. Good break in there as we go into the chicanes. Let's go back to Jack and just see how he's handling his lap. So far, so good. How does he get on the power in here? We can see his teammate just disappearing into the distance as he comes to No Name Corner. It's a beautiful sound of the engines. And that's a lot of curve there. I'll be surprised if Jack hasn't penalised his lap as we go back to Devils. 7th gear, 8th gear on the exit. 150 metre board is the braking zone there, as Devils perfectly shows me straight in time. Take some curve on the outside, which he does. And this is tricky, this braking point. It's downhill braking to get you in, and this is where you've got to be perfect. And Devils looks, he has to get out of it. He's naturally compromised that he hasn't got the grip. And that he's going to want to do that again. It's going to be flat till the end of the lap for Devils. Does he get off in here? He doesn't. That was perfect. Just that one little mistake it looks like as we pair to bus shop chicane. He's out of ERS already, as we can see the DRS is about to open, as he will go provisionally fastest. We'll go on to Jack Blum and just see, can he beat his teammates' time? He should do on that player. He did get his lap deleted. That's the reason why. We'll go back to Toon Fan. He's on a hot lap. And just see, this is, so he's on a medium tyre. So it looks like comparisons for Gavlov goes quickly, so 1:44.6 on the soft tyre. So we'll stay with Toon Fan for the time being and just see what his lap time comparison is going to be to Devil's Nightmare in P2. He's in the medium tyre. He's a driver to beat. He didn't seem to have that getting off issue. Come up to the back stretch that Devils did. Again, very, very good there. Coming down to the bus stop chicane. He has got his teammate ahead of him. This is to back off the lap. Tristan will set a lap. Where is he going? DRS completely open on the McLaren, and Toon Fan does not set a lap. So again, he must have gone over the white line. That's the reason why. Does Jack stay with this? So Jack looks like he's staying with this for what is going to be a fast lap. Trying to get a lap in, a banker lap as I would call it, as we go to one of the new boys, to argue we. And let's have a look at his braking point just to assess his lap. He's gone for the medium tyre. He's gone conservative during this lap. And he spun it! And he's going to be out of qualifying. That's a shame. And yellow flags in Sector 2. Yellow flags in Sector 2. It's for an accident for RDW123. We're riding with. Big shame for him. He's going to be out of qualifying. He will start from the back, and that is going to absolutely destroy it all. And there was a ghosted car there. One of the McLarens, I was fearing they hadn't seen him. It's a big shame for him. So the two McLaren's laps are going to be compromised. They're both on the medium tyre. Even though it was a ghosted car, you can see one of the McLaren completely getting out of the way. As we're looking at, we'll ride with Toon Fan. Gavlar does the quickest lap of the race on the same set of soft tyres. Now, wow, that's quite a big gap. A 144.3. It's Jack Blum in second place, a 146.1. 2 laps in. That's why he's managed to do on an older set of tyres. They've done 2 laps because of, unfortunately, penalising his lap. That's the reason why he had to go again. And luckily, he did save some fuel, so that's the reason why he was able to complete the lap. Tristan goes second, as Toon Fan's getting it all wrong in the pit lane. Going straight into the wall. Tristan puts it P2 on the provisional grid, a 145.8. He is well off the time of Gavlar. So, occasion on the medium tyre, we're looking roughly about half a second difference between the medium and the soft runners. So with 10 minutes and 40 seconds to go, are any of the guys on the medium tyre going to be able to go out there, or deciding to go out there and put on a set of soft tyres to get a lap in? As we ride with Charlie in Japan. He's coming down to the chicane. Good braking, we'll ride with him for the time being. 5th gear on the gas. For me, he's not as quick on the gas as what he wants to be in there. Downhill braking. Keeps it in 4th gear. Of course, we don't know if he's auto shifting here or not. Nice little bit of curve on the outside of the curb. His first FNR Bronze qualifying, he's kept it on the black stuff. Unfortunately, like his teammate, he doesn't want to run too wide there because it will get rid of his lap. Just staying silent for a minute just to watch his lap. Charlie in Japan is up to nearly cutting up to the bus stop chicanes, out of ERS already. Maybe it's going to be a lesson for him. He breaks the 100 metre board. His lap is going to be compromised. He has run out of ERS at the end of sector 2. Charlie in Japan goes into P5. So we have Toon Fan and Poppy still to set laps. Poppy's been staying in the pits, and Poppy in fact is on the track. So we've got 5 lap times down there of Gavlar, Tristan, Jack Blum, Devil's Nightmare and Charlie in Japan setting lap times. Unfortunately, we have lost RDW. He will start the race, unfortunately, from the back from P8. It may not be the back if anyone else joins us for the race. But we'll stay with Puppy to watch his out lap. Where Puppy wants to be flat. Okay, it's an out lap. He wants to prepare the car for a hot lap. He's not being extremely aggressive, the accelerator. Now it's time to push. You can hear the change in the engine. Down to 3rd and 2nd gear. So what has Puppy got? He's got the track pretty much to himself by the look of things. Of the 8 drivers, only 4 in fact, including himself, are out. He's got a car ahead as he comes down out of the source into Lacombe. And it's pretty flat through there, if you ask me. So he's trying to get a drift off the back of the McLaren, and he does! That's only going to help his lap time. Holding a lot of the inside curve there. It's the tricky braking zone as we end sector 1. We're into sector 2 now, of course. These corners are really tricky, no name. It looks all so far so good, I would say, for Puppy. Devil's Nightmare has done a fastest lap. He puts it on provisional pole position at 1:44.006. That is 3/10 of a second faster than the Gavlar, who's currently sitting in the pit lane, probably watching that lap of Devils, thinking where he can go faster. As we watch the end of the lap from Puppy, this is where he wants to be flat. A lot of steering control there from Puppy. He's run out of EOS. He won't get it back until the line, then unfortunately be too late for his fast lap. He's about to cross the line now. He puts it third fastest on the medium tyre. Good lap, solid lap I would say there from Puppy. So well done for him as we're watching with Devil's Nightmare. He's on provisional pole position at 1:44.0 with just over 5.5 minutes to go. He will have enough time if he's fast enough to get home. He is taking it all over the track. He doesn't want to damage those tyres too much because as things stand, he will be starting those tyres for the race on later. So he doesn't want to wear them too much. He has got enough time to get back to the pits, and maybe that's the reason why he's rushing back. 3 sets of tyres should have been possible for this run, and you have got enough time to make those 3 runs as long as you're quick. And more, maybe Devil's got a pizza in the oven, and maybe that's the reason why he's running back to the pits to get some dinner ready, who knows. But he is absolutely rapid. Is he actually even going again? Are we going to see him turn into the pits? Yeah, we see him come into the pits. Good idea there for Devils and not risking it on a second lap. He has got a slower car ahead of an Alpha. That's going to be Puppy. As we will then go back and... It wasn't Puppy, I was incorrect. It wasn't an Alpha out there. So let's try and join any of the drivers out. There's a Gavlar's back out on the soft tyre. Not happy with his 44.3. Now, has Gavlar gone too early? Unfortunately, Gavlar has got a bit of a reputation going early. He did go early a couple of weeks ago, and I think it cost him coming out on the soft tyre when it was wet conditions. Again, he decided to come out early, which does help because if you will get a second go on a hot lap if you do make a mistake. Goes into the source. That wasn't bad at all there from Gavlar, who's gone down to P3. Toon fans got up to second place. But actually wasn't watching. 1:44.1. It's 1.3 tenths of a second down on Devil's Nightmare. He's not going to have enough time to go again. The Toon fan, he's currently starting on the front row in P2. He can't improve any further. He's done some tyres unless he really wants to push his car for a second run, which I doubt really you can get away with around Spa. That's a bit too high on the curves for Gavlar. That could cost him the lap. That may have taken it away from him. He can't watch his delta. We'll try and find his delta, in fact, to see if we can get it. No, I don't think we can get his delta off here, so let's watch the lap he's got off it. So Gavlar knows he can't improve, so Gavlar is starting from at least third place. Maybe he can go again. That's the reason why he's calming the car down. So this is not going to be a fast lap from Gavlar. Tristan starts a fast lap. And again, he'll get a chance to go again if he needs to. So Gavlar saving his energy boost, trying to make sure he's got one more lap of fuel left in the car to really go at it. So Gavlar will get a chance to go again. Any drivers now need to be really coming out the pits. So Charlie in Japan's still out there. Surely he's going to have to risk it for a biscuit and go for that soft tyre. Devil's still faster, 1:44.006. So it's 44 points that Gavlar Company has in the Drivers' Championship. And they're all 1:44 as the top 4 drivers, would you believe? Jack Blum wanting to improve more. He's on the soft tyre. 1 minute 46.1. He's got quite a bit to improve to get anywhere near the top front row. And we can only hope good things for Jack out of this session. Riding the curb nicely in there. He's had to get off it, and unfortunately that will compromise his time all the way down the back stretch towards the bus stop. Big shame for him. Charlie in Japan, he's out on track in his Mercedes, wanting another go. The DRS isn't opened it. Someone told him to open it. He's losing so much time. Well, he's on an outlap. That's the reason why. Apologies. Right, so of course we've got Gavlar going at it again. This is the hot lap from Gavlar. Two fans had enough. He's retired from P2. He couldn't go any faster, and he hadn't saved enough fuel to go again for another hot lap. Looks like Gavlar has got the fuel. We'll stay with him till the end of this lap. Gets on the gas early coming out. This is the crucial corner. That wasn't too bad at all from Gavlar, and he'll carry all this speed straight through towards the bus stop chicane. His ERS is looking good for the time being. This is Willie Burnett. He's on his back stretch. Watch his positioning coming in to the bus stop chicane. Well controlled there from Gavlar. When you get on the gas here, and Gavlar goes into P2. It's not good enough. It's exactly the same time as Devil's Nightmare, but because Devils has done it first, it's exactly... Oh no, it's not exactly the same lap time. Apologies. As Gavlar decides that he didn't want his front wing anymore, wants to get rid of it. Apologies. It's 0.06 of a second off the lap time of Devil's Nightmare. He is going to be fuming. So for the time being, it looks like Gavlar, Devils. That lap's not going to be any faster. So it does look like Devils for the time being on provisional pole position may have put it on pole position. Tristan's got some traffic ahead of him in the form of Jack Blum that's carrying the hot lap as well. Looks like Tristan's going to be able to get a bit of a slipstream off the back of Jack Blum. Can he do anything about the front row? He can! Tristan starts from pole position, right on the 0, 1 minute 43.894. That slipstream definitely did help at the back of Jack Blum. And as Devils was sitting pretty, looking at Gavlar, Tristan has just robbed pole position away from him. And that is a point for pole position. We'll go back through the drivers, so it does look like, unless Charlie in Japan has got anything to say about it, a 1 minute 43.894. He's got traffic there. I think he may have had his lap time deleted. He's got a slower Red Bull ahead of him that tries to get out of the way, in the way of Gavlar trying to come back to the pits. He's going to be out of fuel. That's the reason why he was so much slower. What can Charlie in Japan do on what is going to be his first FNR Bronze qualifying session? He's out of ERS. Sliding the car there. He can't. He starts 7th, but a fantastic effort nonetheless from Charlie in Japan. So confirmation of the results. Tristan does start from pole position for the FNR Bronze Belgian Grand Prix. Taken off him by Devils that will start on the front row. 0.112 seconds quicker. Fantastic lap from him, and definitely that DRS boost on the slipstream boost definitely did help off Jack Blum. Gavlar starts 3rd. He was on again provisional pole at the start of this session. Team Fan starts 4th place. Maybe he's getting the two of them going out so early. Puppy will start from 5th, the first runner on the medium tyres. Jack Blum will start from 6th, 1.7 seconds down on the pole time. We've got the first 4 drivers, followed by 1 second. You then got Charlie in Japan and RD Wee that didn't take any parts, unfortunately, more than his first flying lap in the session. So, big shame for him. He will start from 8th, but of course, if he doesn't put it in the wall, he should be getting some points today. So, well, did not see that there. Looks like it's Christian's first pole position in actually quite a long time for effort for this league. I can't actually remember him being on pole position. So, a big well done for him, and of course a very well deserved World Championship point for Tristan, getting it on pole position. But can he convert pole position into a race win? That is the question. As drivers are sorting themselves out and sorting the strategy out, we are going to find out. For a 50% race to the side, the FNR Bronze FNR RRC Belgian Grand Prix. We're going to take a quick break, and I was about to take a quick break there, but we seem to have started with the formation, which is good. So it is looking like I said earlier, a one-stop strategy for the guys out there. Of course, the drivers starting on the soft tyre. It is all about when do you stop. The undercut is effective around here. And surely it's going to be a toss-up of when do you put on those medium tyres to try and last you through till the end of the race. So again, let's go through the grid really quickly for the top 8. We have Tristan starting on pole position in his McLaren. We have Devil's Nightmare, who was on pole right until the end, right until the checkered flag came out. Will start on the front row alongside him. We've then got Gavlar, the current championship points leader, starting down in third on row 2. He is all about trying to maintain his drivers' championship this week. Whatever happens, he's going to be leading it, but he doesn't want to take too much of a serious dent out of it at all. Toon Fan, he starts down from 4th. Disappointing qualifying for him, especially with what his teammate has achieved in the same car. Expect fireworks from him starting from P4. Puppy down in 5th. Again, didn't see too much of Puppy in qualifying, but again, he turns out the results week in, week out, so obviously good luck to Puppy there. Jack didn't like the pace on the medium tyre. He'd gone for the soft, like most drivers did ahead of him. Just the Toon Fan to worry about, so maybe watch for Toon Fan and Puppy having a scrap between the medium and soft runners. Charlie and Japan down the slow start, but at least gets on the time left in P7 in his first FNR race, so good luck to him. And his Mercedes teammate RDW did make a mistake in qualifying, put it in the wall, and didn't take any further parts. As we'll go back to the start, and we are just about to get ready for the start of the FNR Bronze Belgian Grand Prix. And that's all about calming your nerves, getting the car ready. You've had a formation lap, you've had practice, you've had qualifying. It's about time for 50% race. And holding your nerve into the source in turn 1, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And the Belgian Grand Prix is go now! There's a jump start for Charlie in Japan. He's not going to like that. We're riding with Tristan. Can he defend into turn 1? It does look like he can. Good move there from Tristan. You can see Devil's Nightmare just the gas on the way out. Looks like all the 8 drivers have got away safely. Unfortunately, Charlie Japan just seems to have a bit of an issue there, as we can now see Toon Fan, like I said, having a battle royale with Jack Blam and all on those medium tyres. You can just see Poppy there scrapping. We've got all the way outside onto. Watch this Red Bull, watch the Red Bull. Between him and Gavlar, these guys go back, and you just know there's going to be fireworks. And they seem to have both got into the corner safely. So very well done for those two, finding it out there. Puppy's got the best view in the house, back there in P5. Jack, disappointing start for him, back in 6th. And we got 2 new guys of RDW and Charlie in Japan in 7th and 8th place. So Charlie has got a stop-go to take for a jump start, and that's all about that. And you can just see that Devil's Nightmare really going for Tristan on lap 1. He's 0.133 seconds behind. Back to gap off the lap of the first sector of lap 1 on lap 1. Woo! And we can see there's It's Jack Blum that's made a mistake. You can see him flying off in the background. Front wing has gone. Apologies, we've missed that. And what a shame. So for him, I didn't see him having an issue, but it does look like he's going to have to pit with no rear wing, as you can see there. As the other Renault really going for it. As there's a battle up front, and Devils does take the lead, and you can see then Tristan trying to defend. He's got his teammate all over him. The two McLarens going to let each other go. A lot of curb there from Team Fan. He's going to hope for no penalties. He's got his teammate alongside him, and he will by will. And they are letting this car get away. As we were watching there, it looks like one of the McLarens has ghosted. Is that going to be network problems? Because it is Tristan we're riding with. He's got network problems. Internet problems by looks of things. And that's the reason for his lack of pace. As has Gavlar. That's why we're seeing ghosted cars on the track. And maybe if there is a safety car, it's only going to help Jack Blum's case to get up there. The stats are really playing around. So it does look like Devils is currently still leading this race. We have got some ghosted cars out there. That's the reason why we've got Tristan down there in P2. So he's trying to fight over Devils for the race with his teammate right behind him in P3. So they're sorting out the ghosting and the internet issues, because the McLarens and the Red Bulls do look intact. Blue flags out there. That's not going to be correct. So hopefully that does sort itself out soon. And that drivers don't keep getting out of the way of each other, and they don't need to. Where it does look, it seems to have calmed down on lap 3. A bit too much curve there from Team Fan. You could just see the sparks coming off of the car, and a bit of dirt more as RD get himself involved with Gavlar in the Mercedes in his first race. As you can now see, Gavlar all over the back of Team Fan. Is he going to make a move down into the bus stop? Goes all the way wide. He's like he's missed the gear there. And is the Mercedes going to be able to compromise on the grass? He couldn't. Really late on the corner there. And just remember that the two of these four guys we're watching, as we can see the DRS Open, are going to have the advantage because they are on the medium tyre. As we can see, Devil's Nightmare just trying to run away there from Tristan. There's a move. RD Wee does seem to have got Gavlar. So Gavlar down to 5th. Gavlar's going to get DRS though on after Eau Rouge. And maybe that's what he's rating around for. He's on the softer tyre. Can he make this move? He doesn't want to be sitting behind RD Wee for the whole race. And does he defend? He really couldn't there, could he? So Gavlar gets the place back, as it's getting closer up front between the two McLarens. So it does look like RDW has seemed to have settled for P5. He's fighting him back. He's not sitting there for P5. He is fighting him back all the way. Mistake there from Gavlar on the outside. And he does win. Fight for the place. And he does seem to have won it back. Fantastic driving there from the rookie. RDW. Fantastic move there on Gavlar, the championship leader. And boy, that boy did not take any prisoners whatsoever, did he? And you can see Gavlar fighting back at him now. Tristan getting himself a time penalty. That's me for corner cutting. And I'm sure you can understand why we're watching the closest battle on the track between the championship leader Gavlar and RD the rookie. This guy is really fighting with fire after the championship leader in his first race. Remember that Gavlar is on soft tyres, RD is on medium tyres. So Gavlar will have the advantage here, and RD is not taking protocol at all. He's all after the back of Gavlar. Doesn't care that he's in a slower tyre. He wants past Gavlar, he wants P4, and he wants to get after the leader. And that is why he is fighting all the way. We've seen him round lap 3. Fight for the lead. Now, have we seen Charlie in Japan pit for his penalty? I think we already have. He would have had 3 laps to pit for his stop and go penalty for jump start. Puppy, as ever, having his own little race there in P6. Unfortunately, he hasn't got his teammate with him to battle this race day. And you can see Ardy Wee again getting all over the back of Gavlar. This is not what Gavlar needs. Gavlar needs a nice quiet race, getting maximum points off in the race lead, and he is not getting that today. He is getting pressure all the way. As you can see now, Devil's Nightmare gets himself a time penalty. The gap for the lead is down to 7/10 of a second. So Tristan seems to have followed in there. I thought the two McLarens might have switched. They haven't. Getting after Devil's Nightmare, who managed to get a 1 second lead over them. The gap is down to 5/10 of a second lead. The top two have penalties. So in fact, really at the moment, it's Toon Fan that's actually leading. The first driver not to have any penalties. RD Wee gets himself a penalty of 3 seconds. Will be added to his race time at the end of this 22 lap race. And it's hope he doesn't get any more, because we're quite enjoying the battle between him and Gavlar. We're watching the leaders for the time being. Tristan get ever closer to Devil's Nightmare. As they start lap 5, he's having a little blink there into the source, trying to make Devil's Nightmare make a mistake for the race lead. He's started in pole position, Tristan. He will want the race lead back. He wants 25 points. A maximum point for the weekend if he can get a fastest lap. Having taken a point for qualifying, it doesn't look like he's going to get him on the back stretch. On the Kemmel straight, he's going to blink right. Does he go for it? This is for the race lead. Tristan does take the race lead away there. And there was Nightmare. Kemmel's going to get on the outside. No contact between the two drivers. Fantastic bit of driving from both of them. And Devil's really trying to come back at him as they go downhill. Whew. And if this is lap 5, we've got plenty of racing action to go as Tristan does lead the Belgium Grand Prix. We can see Devil's Nightmare really trying to keep with him as we go into sector 2. This is the fastest part of the track. They've both got time penalties, these two. We've got Toon Fan sitting right behind them, trying to get a piece of the action. He's going to be within DRS. Behind these three, we have got RD Wee and Gavlar fighting for 4th place. And of course Gavlar's got to start thinking about the Drivers' Championship as Tristan goes really wide there, and that's a big mistake for the McLaren. He's going to lose 1 place, if not 2, to his teammate. He does. It's going to be 3rd place, 1st to 3rd for Tristan. Big mistake from him, and it does give Devil's Nightmare the race lead back. As you can see now, Toon Fan making a mistake, getting himself his own penalty. Can he go for the race lead? Not in bus stop, he's going to get a big boost of DRS though. Tristan needs to pit. It's obviously the tyres that have got, I don't think, any damage with the car. We'll have a quick look to see if they do try and change the front wing. There's 2 tenths between these two, and that's the reason why we'll try and stay with them. Right, they're not going to make a move in there. Let's have a quick look to see if Tristan, it's just the tyres, so that doesn't look at any damage at all. Toon Fan surely will get a look here at Devil's Nightmare going down the Kemmel straight. They'll be hitting just over 200 miles an hour at the bottom of the Kemmel straight. Nice and early there for Toon Fan. He's going to take the overall race lead away from Devil's Nightmare. So good defending from there from Devils. He knew he was beaten there down the Kemmel straight. So Toon Fan does lead the Belgian Grand Prix on lap 6. Devil's Nightmare 2nd. RD Wee, the new boy, in his 1st race. He's battling with Gavlar. He's got a nice little gap over him as well. He's up to 3rd. There's a 2-second gap. He's on the medium tyres. Gavlar down there in P4. He's on the faster tyre. But now he's got Puppy coming all over him as well, who's Puppy now gets himself a penalty. Now Tristan going on the medium tyre. I think it's a bit too early for mediums. Can he make this medium tyre last to the end? The undercut may help him here. But if he wants to lead the race back, he had to do something drastic. It looked like the tyres were going. Devil gets himself another penalty. So it looks like it's 2 penalties for Devils. 1 for Toon Fan and 1 for Tristan. So overall at the moment it does give the overall race lead another 3 seconds. So actually that puts RD Wee ahead of... No, it doesn't. It does put RD Wee ahead of him, pardon me, because RD Wee also has a penalty. 1 penalty of 3 seconds. So for the moment, Toon Fan's leading. RD Wee is 2nd, as we can see, pit stops, and that's the reason why. So the undercut maybe is important here, as we can see Gavlar as well pitting. We will stay with Puppy for the time being, or pardon me, Devils for the time being. He's gone for the hard tyre. He's gone for the hard tyre. This is going to be a big change. Does Tristan get him on the way out of La Source? Gavlar going for the soft tyre again, so he's going to stop again. Doesn't look like he can go to the end. And where does Devils come out? Tristan's gone. The undercut. No, he doesn't. Tristan is going to be all over him on the medium tyre. He's got to make this move work. And he does on the way down to Eau Rouge. He does make the tyres work. And it doesn't really matter. He's going to get the DRS, of course, now. He's Devils. He's got to keep him behind him. He's got to keep him behind him for his own race. Tristan really defending there. It was the first, maybe only chance that Devils going to get of getting past him on the hard tyre. He doesn't. Devils does not get past him, as Gavlar has gone for the soft tyre, as we mentioned, so he's definitely got to stop again. He's going for a two-stop strategy. Now it's all about this. The undercut has worked there for Tristan. He's going to have to get away and cut the DRS. Now, do McLaren come in and stop Toon Fan? Because, of course, you could see how effective that undercut was. And what tyres are they going to put his McLaren teammate on? And do they, in fact, bring him in? So Toon Fan does look to be having a nice sailing race. The tyres look to be going off. The front left doesn't look fantastic for my eyes. Does Toon Fan decide to pit this lap? He doesn't. Gavlar gets himself a penalty. Well, we'll try and have a quick look and see what the tyre is open. So Tristan has gambled there for the undercut. It seems to be working for the time being. But it's all about, can you make these tyres last till the end? So Tristan has it all to do. They are saying that the tyres will be okay for the mediums on this lap. I think Devils has gone too early. I think he's made a mistake. This is going to play into RDW. He's now taken more time out of Toon Fan on the medium tyre. He's going to the softs after this pit stop if he can make it to the end. So really, this guy for me, as you can see him change and take on the steering wheel. Jack Bum does the fastest lap of the race on the hard tyre. So well done, Jack. Currently holding the provisional fastest lap trophy. This is where RDW made a mistake in qualifying and cost him his qualifying lap. Well, it seems to have brushed that off there. He's currently P2 in this race. The top two have yet to, the top three in fact, are yet to stop us. Tristan's made another error and he's gone down to P5 for what is the next lead of this race potentially. These are the guys, the first two guys that have stopped. Tristan has seemed to have made a mistake. He's fallen behind Devils, and as Devils is on the hard tyre, he definitely hasn't got to stop again. This is all about if Tristan can get past him. You could just see RDW now leads the race. We unfortunately did just miss that. Maybe it was the tyres, it was over a second away. So RDW in his first FNR Bronze race leads the Belgian Grand Prix. He started from the back row of the grid from 8th, the new boy, number 69 Mercedes. And he's now leading the Belgian Grand Prix. Is there going to be wing damage for that McLaren? There's not. It's a bit of a time lag there. I thought it was a penalty as Devils does the fastest lap of the race on the hard tyre. The undercut is too good. And Tristan does get past, and Gavlar may well get the run at him as well. Gavlar has to stop again. I don't know if that was a mistake or not. It's lap 9. There's a long way to go in this race. Gavlar is going to get DRS on Toon Fan, as the gap for the lead. He thinks about it there. So RDW does lead this race. We'll go back and join him in just a few seconds time. We are watching the battle for 6th place. The top two drivers are yet to stop, and we are expecting them to stop relatively soon. So RDW does lead the race in his first FNR Bronze race in his Mercedes by 5.4 seconds to Puppy. Then we've got Devils 12 seconds down the road. He has stopped. He's on the hard tyre. He hasn't got to stop again. We've then got a mix of strategies going down the field. Tristan, he is in P4 hunting down Poppy. He had overall race lead of this Grand Prix. He seems to have thrown that away, unfortunately. He's on the medium tyre, and it is going to be marginal. He's gambled on the undercut. Can these medium tyres last till the end of the race? We've still got a very long way to go. It's only lap 9 of this Spa-Francorchamps circuit, and a long time for these tyres to go off. And maybe even a threat of rain, we really don't know. Gavlar has also then got past Toonfan. He did manage to get past him. He seems to have missed that, so apologies. So Charlie in Japan has now managed to get past Jack Blum up to P7 in his first race. So those two are having a nice little battle down there in 6th or 7th place. We're talking about battles, we'll ride back with Toonfan and see exactly when Toonfan is surely going to get a move there over Gavlar. These two really go back. Are they going to give each other enough space? They seem to. Gavlar seems to back off there. Gavlar has got to stop again. The soft tyres surely are not going to make it till the end, as RD Wee now really does have the race from the crust of his hands. He has got another car in the way of Puppy between him and the overall race leaders. So he just needs to focus, RD Wee. When he comes in, it's going to be four soft tyres and wheels that should, and I mean should, take him through to the end of the race. He started from 8th, he started on the medium tyre, having been unable in the qualifying session to set a lap. And this race has really gone in the way of RD Wee's favour. So Devil getting himself another 3-second penalty to make that 3 at 9 seconds and 6 seconds for Toonfan. Tristan seems to have only 3 seconds. So at the end of the race, that will really help again. As you can see, the two McLarens scrapping there in Sector 2 for what is P4. Coming into the bus stop. They're all going to get DRS, of course, so Devil's ahead of them, is within DRS range. And the two McLarens need to stay with him. So Toonfan has the advantage, having the better tyres and another lap. I think the two McLarens did stop relatively early, if you ask me, for the medium tyre. Let's hope for their sake the tyres will last. Devil's Nightmare obviously has decided that the tyres definitely won't last. So he's gone for the hard tyre, so he's definitely good for the end. And at the moment, he's making these hard tyres really long, look as good as the medium tyres. So well done to Devil's Nightmare. The gap between the first and second is going up. It was around the 5-second mark. It's now 6.5 seconds. The gap between second and third is coming down though. It's down slightly to just over 10 seconds. It's been going from about 12 seconds down to 10.7 where it currently sits. So what's that, 16 seconds? It's not going to be enough at the moment for a pit stop. So that's the reason why the RD Wee is staying out, as Tristan does not want to be staying too close to the curbs, getting himself a 3-second penalty for what we just witnessed. That is now, what, 6 seconds for Tristan, 9 seconds I believe for Devil's Nightmare. Toonfan I believe still has 6, they have 6 seconds in penalties, and Jack just a 3. So, and RD Wee just a 3 of course as well. So we've been holding on these three for just over a lap. There's 4 cars together in the train, and because of course they're in a train, one of them gets DRS, and they all then get the 3 cars behind, then also get DRS together. You can see Toonfan getting extremely close to Devil's Nightmare. He's got not a lot of ERS space between them, and that is the reason why he's really taking a slower lap, harnessing his ERS, taking all the curb and more there. And this is the lap surely he's going to have to get past Devils. He goes to the left, Devils staying on the right. It's like playing chess watching these two at work. Who blinks first? Devils has to get out of it. Again, good driving from the both of them. Tristan deciding to take a lot more curb. He has got Gavlar all over the back of him. who has decided to go for a two-stop strategy and spin the dice again. The championship points leader rolling the dice, and he looks like he's going to be taking a huge hit in his championship state today. So we're just over, we're on the half distance lap in the Belgian Grand Prix, lap 12 of 22 laps. And realistically, it's pretty soon. We were expecting to see RDW and Puppy pit for their one and only pit stop for brand new soft tyres. The top two drivers did start on the alternative strategy on the medium tyre. Devil's Nightmare, we can see riding with, is out there on the hards, and the question for me is, can the medium tyres of the two McLarens last out there? Devil's making contact there, it was wheel to wheel, so that's okay, as these four are really slowing each other down the gap. As we can see now, Puppy does pit for hard tyres. So, wow, maybe he'd burnt through all his soft tyres and didn't have any left. So, very strange strategy there from Puppy going for the hard tyre. Toonfan in P2. His next focus is going to be RDW. He's got 17.1 seconds, 17.2 seconds now between them. And all the time that him and Devils are fighting, he's going to be slowing him down. And is really playing into RDW in his first FNR race. And can he win his first FNR race? He's got half the race to go to find out. And you can see Toonfan really make a mistake. He refused there to let Devils past him, making a mistake going down the hill. Gavlar would have seen absolutely all of that. But Toonfan refusing to let Devils anywhere near him. Again, fantastic driving from the both of them, not having an incident between these four, fingers crossed, as Gavlar decides that he doesn't like that bit of turf, that bit of grass where it is, and decides to move it to a different part of the track. More curb there from Tristan. I don't think he's learnt his lesson from the 6 seconds of penalties he's been given in this race. He's now the last car in this chain, being passed by Gavlar, and Gavlar is getting the gloves out now for Devil's Nightmare. And surely there's 2 compounds of tyres between these two drivers. Gavlar surely should be knocking on the door of Devils on the next lap. But what he can do, he's already moving around, making sure that Red Bull can't get any draft or away from the DRS. And he is going to really have to defend here. Not much ERS for Gavlar to work with. He is going to be all over the back of Devil's Nightmare, which he is. And surely making a move up into P3 on the bottom step of the podium. The Renault seems to be holding them off so far because, of course, he's got the DRS himself. And that is a pure example of the train situation. Charlie in Japan has come in, he's in the wars, hitting into the wall as he comes in. No front wing stops, he's going on for stops. He's obviously after the fastest stop of the race, taking his time. I think it might be a time penalty for speeding, that's the reason why. Talking of time penalties, Tristan decides he wasn't happy with 6 seconds. He wants 9 seconds. So the stewards are giving him another penalty, as the gap for the lead still stays the same, around 17 seconds between RDW and Toonfan. I don't think it's going to be enough for him to get out in the lead on his worn mediums that have done 14 laps. But of course, as he does decide to come in, we're going to find out. It might not be enough to get him out of the pit, but on the softer tyre, is it going to be enough? He's got just under half the race to go. And he's got himself a penalty, that's the reason why. So a time penalty served in the pits. It looked like that's why they were so slow bringing him in. Or maybe it was just the fact that his teammate had just pitted, so RDW falls all the way down. It wasn't enough. However, he is on the soft tyre, So that is going to be him fighting through the field as Toonfan does take the lead in this race. Back to Devil's Nightmare. Gavlar goes up to third. Tristan promoted to fourth. Or is it going to be down to fifth as RDW starts his move on the soft tyre through the field? He has got past Tristan. Next up is going to be Gavlar. As you can see now, there's a battle for the lead again. The first 5 are together. And RDW has put himself right in the middle of the pack. So the gap was 17 seconds. All this battling between Toonfan and Devils has really slowed the pack down. That's the reason why that our man who's now in third position, he has really cut him off. There's yellow flags down there. And who is that? It's Devils. He's lost it. So that puts RDW straight up to P2. And he's only got one driver to beat. So on the start of this lap, he was down to P5. He's back up to P2, having led the race on this time last lap. Made a pit stop for tyres. He has got plenty of time to hunt down Toonfan, who is going to be on slower tyres for the overall race lead. So we didn't see what happened there to Devils. We was trying to concentrate on, of course, RDW trying to come back through the field. So unfortunately it hasn't worked out for Devils, and surely now a pit stop for soft tyres should be an option for him. He has got Puppy behind him. As we can see, who is that pitting as Gavlar? So yeah, the softs wasn't an option. They weren't quick enough. He wasn't able to do anything with him. So he will fall to the back of the field. Is that Tristan coming in? So it would have been Tristan and Devils fighting. That's the reason why they've stopped again. So Tristan decided to go for soft tyres. And really now for Puppy, he goes up to P4 on the hards. Is Devils going to be satisfied? But as we just missed the overall move for the lead. And RDW does fight back. He is leading. So it's taken him 2 laps. He's done 5th to 1st in 2 laps. Of course, Toonfan will be fighting him for the overall race victory. These two have stopped. Of course, RDW started from the medium tyre from the 8th position. Toonfan started on the soft tyre. And that's their alternative strategies going into this race. Of course, Toonfan and Devil's Nightmare were battling, and that's the reason why it seems to have slowed down RDW. RDW seems to have then caught up through the field, and that is the reason why he's now currently leading this race by 0.7 of a second and pulling away on the soft tyre. On lap 16, Toonfan is just watching the gap between himself and RDW get bigger and bigger and bigger. He is keeping DRS range on him though. That's what he needs to do. You've got Devils fighting back there to P3 on the hard tyre. And of course, so we know RDW should be fine till the end. Toonfan can't keep within DRS range, just over a second. So can he make these tyres last till the end? His teammate Tristan thinks not. So he's stopped for softs. He's going to be okay to the end. His teammate Tristan down there in P6. Has another rub of the grass today. Devils, he's good till the end. As is Puppy. Then we've got Gavlar and Tristan fighting, which were actually quite nice to see that battle down there. Between these two drivers on medium and soft tyres respectively, and Tristan should be fairly easy to easily to pass Gavlar there. Gavlar not giving him an inch of space, forcing him onto the outside, and he's going to try it again. That's a dangerous movement there from Tristan. He does seem to make it work though. Gavlar's going to give him the space. He does give him the space. Fantastic move there from Tristan. Fantastic driving from both drivers, and that's the reason why we're not looking cars in gravel trap. So very, very well done to these two tonight. So multiple warnings there for Puppy. That's not going to go down well, giving himself a penalty, more of a penalty. The gap for the lead currently stands at 1.4 seconds. So Charlie in Japan's teammate, the guy we are watching, does lead the FNR Bronze Belgian Grand Prix by 1.6 seconds to Toon Fan. Nice little battle between these two. On different tyres and different strategies. That's the reason why it's such an easy pass there from RD Wee. It was the tyres talking, so to speak. Devils in third place. If he can hold on to third position, you can see Puppy there, the car getting all out of sorts as he comes into the source. If Devils can keep that third place, maybe it will show that the hard was the way to go and not the mediums where he was on. Puppy P4, if he can stay fourth, that'll be a fantastic result for him and very, very worthwhile. But again, a very quiet race when Puppy seems to go into his own little world in races. As we can see, Gablar and Tristan fighting, and that's the reason why we do miss out sometimes on Puppy, because other action happening on the track. This is the battle for P5. You can see Gablar ahead of us in the Red Bull, the current points leader. He is on the medium tyre, and this is why Tristan, they are battling for first and second in the Drivers' Championship. This is why Tristan is all over the back of him. He don't want to be on the curb in there, into No Name. He wants to be past Gablar to take some points out of his 44-point lead. At the moment, the points battle is going to be extending, but Toon Fan and the following pack will be taking points out, with of course the exception of Tristan in this battle. So, fight. Apologies, that's my friend just trying to invite me to a party just started. I'll be joining that later at some point tonight. The Toon Fan not happy with his 6 seconds of penalties. He wants 9 as well. So it's equal at McLaren, both winning 9 seconds in penalties. Well, the stewards are just giving it to them. 9 seconds in penalties for both of the McLaren drivers. I'm sure that won't go down very well with the McLaren team, and may even cost them points today, unfortunately. Now, this hard tyre that Jack is currently running on, it seems like his buddy seems to have left him there in the way of Charlie in Japan. You can see Tristan there now. He's got an extra stop, and Jack should be okay to the end of the race. But obviously, the longer that Tristan and Gavlar fight on for will only help Jack go and join the party, so to speak. Well, I hope he's taking his face mask with him if he wants to join the party, because these two are definitely not sparing any PPE for anyone. This is where Tristan tried it before. Very risky move in there. This time he decides not to. The gap for the lead for RD Wee and Toon Fan is currently set at 2.3 seconds on lap 19. So RD Wee in his first race weekend does seem to be putting away. And wow, it's nice to see a new face at the top of the table. As now Tristan decides that 9 seconds is not enough in time penalties. He wants another 3. So that's 12 seconds. So him and Jack, I think, are fighting out for who wants the most penalties tonight. They weren't happy with 9. They obviously want even numbers. That's the reason why they're going for 12. Now, is Toon Fan going to join the party and go for 12 seconds? Let's hope not. In time penalties, I think his main focus today should be to focus on RD Wee and can get anywhere near him at the moment in a very solid P2 for the McLaren driver. He has got Devil's Nightmare fading behind him, and now he's in clear air. He's got 3 laps to go on the tyres, so it looks like the medium tyres should be okay to the end of the race. They look pretty good from what we've seen there. He has got very little ERS, so he needs to hold that on. Of course, 9 seconds in penalties is really not going to help him. I believe Devil's on 6, so it's going to be tight for P2 and P3. So RD Wee, even with penalties, looks to be holding on to that P1. Toon Fan and Devils look to be fighting it out for P3. As you can see, a move there again between Tristan and Gavlar. And there's contact actually with 2 of them. Not too bad. That was tyre to tyre, so that is not going to be too bad. Gavlar's not going to be able to come back at him as we go down the hill. So Tristan takes over P5, which is going to be lowering the championship points down. Not the best week, unfortunately, for Gavlov. As you can see, Charlie in Japan deciding to take some lawn mowing lessons, and he didn't like his front wing either, so he seems to have removed that. So it's the worst place on the track to take away your front wing. He's going to have to stop again, because he's gone past the entrance to the pit lane. The front wing is going to be orange on both sides. That is not going to be nice going into this corner, and he had to really getting off the gas. That's the reason why he's so much slower. It does look like he's going to be lapped potentially on this lap, as RD Wee, his teammate in the sister Mercedes, will catch him on his 21st and penultimate lap of the race. So, at the moment, driver of the day, we're going to have to give it to RD Wee. First race, of course, for FNR. And he starting from P8. The only real blip is going to be, of course, starting from, or in fact, having that issue in qualifying. That is going to be the only blip on his report today, as he does lap his teammates. There's going to be a sail to the end. There's 1.9 seconds between the two of them for first and second place. And honestly, I don't think the Toon Fan has the tyres or the car to be pushing at the moment for first place. As more yellow flags, that's going to be down to the slower car of Charlie in Japan, really getting out of the way, trying not to be a pain there. That's the reason why he's really getting out of it. Decent bit of driving from here, measures it's white flag time, white flag for RD Wee. He's got less than 4 miles to go until he's looking at the checkered flag for his first FNR Bronze race. Toon Fan has pushed him. They were on alternate strategies today, and it does look like the fighting for Toon Fan has really cost him what will be his fourth win, I should say, in FNR. Devils is still hanging on to third position on the hard tyre. Strangely, at the time, it was going to be touch and go, spinning the dice between, do you go for the hard and know you're going to be able to push till the end, or do you go on the medium and fight? Well, it seems like Toon Fan had the best option, and RD Wee, starting on the mediums all the way through to the soft tyre, has the best strategy out of the lot of them. P4 looks like full puppy, as Tristan and Gavlo are still fighting over P5 and bragging rights for P5. Jack having his own little race down there in 7th, and Charlie in Japan's only got a few more miles to get his first points in FNR. He's really being slow. As you can see, the gap now 2 seconds. RD Wee starting from 8th position. Did have an issue in qualifying. That's the reason that he started 8th on his fast lap. I'm disappointed by that. I'm sure his disappointment as he laps his teammate again will turn around that frown upside down as RD Wee enters the bus stop and wins his first FNR Bronze race in Belgium. Fantastic, great for him. Toon Fan finishes in 2nd. It is going to be Devil's Nightmare down the road in 3rd. He made those hard tyres work for him until the end. So well done to him, finishing down there in P3. It's Puppy that's going to be in 4th place. Fantastic result for him. Puppy, in fact, gets P3 because of the penalties. Well done, Puppy. As Gavlar finishes 4th, it's Tristan with the penalties that will finish down 5th, or 6th actually, I should say. And 7th even, it looked like, as the formal results. It is going to be 7th for Tristan, with his 15 million seconds in penalties. Driver of the day, 100% have to agree, RD Wee. So, That's actually quite shocked me. Was not expecting that, as we can see RDW jump to the top of the podium. First race for FNR Bronze, first victory, 10 out of 10 for effort, and 10 out of 10 for points. And we have got a new face at the top of the podium in the way of RDW. So congratulations for him. Well done to Toon Fan finishing second. Not the first place he was after. But that's going to be good enough for his evening's work. Puppy, he's going to be delighted I should say, with P3. Not as bad for Gavlar being down there in P4. His day's work not completely shattered. And his points, he will still get some decent points of finishing down there in P4. Devil's Nightmare 5th. Jack Blum in 6th. Tristan disappointing down there in 7th because of his 15 million seconds in penalties. And Charlie in Japan does get qualified, his first points down there in 8th. So I did say it was going to be a call for this one, and Spa has done it again for classic results. And again, well done to our top 3 drivers. Thank you all for watching. And from everyone at RRC Racing Community, thank you very much for watching. And we'll join you next time as the FNR Bronze continues.